Hi guys, so today I'm back with a video where I'm going to be going over the pros and cons of John Cena's heel run. Oh yes, so of course, as of recording this video, he's not retired yet. We are in his retirement year, but he's still got a few months left, a few more PLE matches to go. Of course, we know now as fans, he's back as a face, of course, with his matches with Cody at SummerSlam and just recently Logan Paul at Clash in Paris. But in this video, like I said, I'm going to be going over his 5, 6 month, whatever run as a heel, because I think it's going to be a topic of major discussion for wrestling fans this year or for years to come. I've seen lots of fans saying, "Oh, what could have been? This could have been an absolutely phenomenal heel run for John Cena." And we've waited 20 years for John Cena to turn heel overnight. He was the Doctor of Thugonomics character back in 2003, wasn't he? And that was pretty much a heel character, but this was like proper heel John Cena. We were over 21 years we'd waited. So I'm just going to go over it, like the actual heel turn and then his run as a heel. So I've got a list of positives and a list of negatives. And I think the overall fan opinion is that mostly negative. It could have gone so much better, but a lot of this is not John Cena's fault. He did the best he could with what he was given or what was thrown at him. So on the positives first. So back in the Elimination Chamber much earlier this year, was it February or March? I think it was March, wasn't it? After the Elimination Chamber match where John Cena won, and The Rock came out with Travis Scott, with Cody Rhodes, saying that I want your soul and all that. We all know what happened. Yeah, Cody said, "Go F yourself," and then John Cena hugged him, and then we got the iconic John Cena was looking at The Rock, and The Rock just went, and then John Cena kicked him in the nuts and just started beating down. I was we were all just like, "Oh my God, they've done it! Oh my God, John Cena's turned heel." The entire wrestling world was in shock. They've actually gone and done it. John Cena was a heel. Oh my God, after 20 years, and it was just a massive shock. And the actual heel turn at an Elimination Chamber will go down as one of the best heel turns of all time. The heel turn, the heel run. We'll get to that, but the actual heel turn was done so well. The Rock demanding Cody's soul, be my corporate champion and all that with Travis Scott, which I'll get to. The John Cena going, "Yeah, well done for sticking up for you," but it's just that look at The Rock, and then The Rock just doing that, and then he just beats down Cody with the belt shots, and then The Rock, Travis Scott, and John Cena are all stood in the ring together, and you think this is going to be at the start of a new faction, a new heel faction with John Cena as The Rock's corporate heel champion. Well, when he beats Cody at WrestleMania 41. Yeah. Yeah, that's what we all thought, wasn't it? But like I said, the actual heel turn was incredible. The crowd reaction was just, you could hear the visceral shock when John Cena kicked Cody in the gonads, and oh my God, the arena, and The Rock was just looking whipping him with the belt, and oh my God, it was so well done. I mean, in terms of pure wrestling moments, that John Cena staring at The Rock doing that, and then the kick in the nuts, it will go down as one of the greatest wrestling heel moments of all time, heel turn moments of all time. It's up there with Hulk Hogan's heel turn. But it was fantastic. And then we began the lead up to WrestleMania 41 with heel John Cena going against champion Cody Rhodes. And we did get some great heel promos from John Cena. I will say that right now. John Cena is one of the best of all time on the mic. We all know that. That's no secret. And we did get some absolutely fantastic heel promos. I remember the first one he cut after the heel turn. The crowd were just completely on him. And the promo he cut was fantastic. He's blaming all the crowd, saying, "It's your fault I've turned into a bad guy. You've pressured me and chanted against me for years. It's all your fault." And I think it was in Brussels, wasn't it? And it was a great heel promo, because that's why he's turned heel, because you were all horrible to chanting Cena sucks for 20 years, and he's finally cracked, and now we've got evil. I'm going to ruin professional wrestling forever and all that. So the heel promos were great, I will say that. And the promo battle he had with Cody Rhodes before WrestleMania 41, where they just having a go at each other constantly, and John Cena just kind of destroyed Cody on the mic. Mwah, so well done. And not just that, obviously, after the Cody Rhodes match, when he had the title defenses against Randy Orton and CM Punk, he had some great promo battles with them as heel John Cena. you know, two of his greatest rivals, Randy Orton and CM Punk, he'd gone up against his faces. But to see heel John Cena go up against Randy and Punk, who were faces, switched around for Backlash and Night of Champions, was really good. I really enjoyed the build up to those matches. You know, his dressing down of Randy before the Backlash match. We got to see the heel, him cut up the pipe bomb promo as a heel on CM Punk, which I think was really, really well done. So, and yeah, he had two solid matches too. I thought the matches with Randy at Backlash and the CM Punk match at Night of Champions, both were very solid matches. I think people are too harsh on them, saying they were both really good, solid title defenses. Of course, they were the only two title defenses John Cena had as the heel champion, as the 17-time world champion. And you know, he also had he had a fun match with R-Truth at Saturday Night Main Event, and just a non-title fun match. And of course, teaming up with Logan Paul at Money in the Bank against, was it Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes? I think it was, yeah. We got 3 solid matches as heel John Cena. Like I said, the Randy Backlash match, the Punk Night of Champions match, and the tag team match at Money in the Bank. Don't really count the Truth match because it was just a glorified house show. It was still fun. And that's really it for positives for John Cena's heel run. Also, like I said, as a heel champion run. The actual heel turn was magnificent at Elimination Chamber. The John Cena heel promos were great, even though at some point they did get a bit repetitive. He was just kind of repeating himself, but still, John Cena, you know, he can cut in amazing promos. Like I said, the promo battles with Cody, Randy, and Punk were fantastic, and we got several very solid matches, 2 of which were very good title defenses against Randy and Punk for like one last time, because it was like two of his greatest rivals. Of course, there are other great rivalries John Cena's had. Yeah. But that's really all the positives I can think of. Yeah. Everything else is just negative. As you said, lots of fans are polarised on this John Cena heel run. Like I said, more leaning towards the negative side. So, on to the negatives. Let's start then with Travis Scott. Like, why was he part of this heel turn? Why was he in the ring with The Rock at Elimination Chamber? To set up, was he mates with The Rock? It made, in kayfabe and in real life, it made no sense. And he's, what are you doing there, Travis Scott, with his belt and all that? It made zero. It should have just been The Rock, Cody, and John Cena. Just Travis Scott being there was just so random. Was he a corporate sponsor because he was doing the Fiend for WrestleMania, the theme song? I don't know. And then, of course, he appeared at WrestleMania 41 when we all thought The Rock was going to come out and help John Cena win. No, it's Travis Scott making like a 10-minute walk to the ring, what felt like 10 minutes, to distract Cody, and then John Cena takes advantage with the belt shot and wins. It was awful. It was terrible. Like, Travis Scott in the main event of WrestleMania 41 and kind of helping John Cena win to say his 17th world title. And then ever since then, no, nothing. We haven't seen Travis Scott since, thank God. Apparently, they didn't like his behaviour backstage or something. Apparently, he was unprofessional. So, yeah, they've just cut ties with Travis Scott, so we never have to see him again. So, but why was he a part of this John Cena heel run? I mean, I know we didn't see him after WrestleMania 41, but it just felt so random. Why? But yes, and so yeah, Travis Scott. Just like I said, just go back to rapping, mate. You're not. Well, he has, like I said, they've cut ties with him, apparently. On to the next big negative of this heel run for John Cena. See, I'm not mentioning John Cena here. A lot of this is not his fault. He got done dirty, I think, by the writing team, and also by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Now, I love The Rock. He's one of the all-time GOATs. He's probably one of my favourite wrestlers of all time, top 5. He's my childhood hero. He's the man who got me into professional wrestling. I love his films. I love his matches. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the final boss and all that. And I loved the second. Like I said, I loved the segment at Elimination Chamber with the whole, like, there's always a plan B. And it's very much looked like, okay, Cody, John Cena, you're my new guy. You're going to be my new corporate champion. You're going to sell your soul to me, John Cena. And then the 3 of them were stood there, weren't they? That's the shot they showed at the end of Elimination Chamber. The Rock, Travis Scott, and John Cena all stood in the ring like that. Like we're going to get this new heel faction, this new heel group. John Cena is the champion, and The Rock and Travis Scott are like his backing. And then The Rock never appeared again after Elimination Chamber, when it obviously it looked like him and John Cena had some sort of partnership with the whole throat slit and standing side by side at Elimination Chamber. But no, The Rock never appeared ever again. Everyone thought for sure he was going to be at WrestleMania 41 to cause a distraction or interfere in the Cody and John Cena match. Never appeared. We got Travis Scott instead. And then he appeared on like the Pat McAfee show after WrestleMania, saying, "Oh, it didn't need me anymore. You know, I let John Cena and Cody just roll with it. The storyline didn't need me anymore." Well, it kind of did, Dwayne. You inserted yourself into one of the biggest heel turns in the company's history, and then you do not pay off with any of the story. But like you and John Cena, like nothing was explained. Like why did John Cena side with The Rock? It was never explained why he sided with The Rock. Like the stuff side by side, what the throat slit, nothing. Why did John Cena turn heel was never really explained. He just said in a few promos, "I've been part of an abusive relationship for 20 years. You're all chanting Cena suck. I've had enough." Well, yeah, but that doesn't explain why you sided with The Rock at Elimination Chamber, John. So yeah, that we all thought it was going to be a big trio faction, like I said, and we never got that. Now, I did hear apparently The Rock did tell them he was never going to be at WrestleMania 41 because he had scheduling conflicts, and the only reason he appeared at Elimination Chamber was to up the ratings just for a big moment. Like I said, for John Cena's heel thing, because they know that was going to generate views everywhere, a massive viral moment, and that was it. It was just for the moment, but it was done. The execution was great, but then the forward planning, yeah, John Cena, you're on your own now. Do what you want. I said, I feel bad for John Cena because a lot of this just isn't his fault. If we'd have got way more explanation with The Rock, then him like being with John Cena, like maybe stood with John Cena in his heel segments, like coming out with John Cena in his entrances and all that, and helping him retain time after time again, it would have been so much better. And then maybe John Cena gets tired of The Rock interfering, and that's when you do the turn back to a face. The Rock turns on John Cena, although the other way around. And then that's when he's back as a babyface going up against The Rock, maybe for his last match. That'd have been so much better than what we got. And it also didn't help matters the fact that John Cena's match with Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania 41 was bang average at best. Definitely one of the most... I wouldn't say it was a bad match. I know people say it was an awful main event. It wasn't an okay match, but it was just slow. John Cena was really doing the slow heel style with a lot of rest holds, and it was just a really slow-paced match. Nowhere near as good as, like, say, the John Cena, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns the last two previous years. So nowhere near those two. So it was a bit of a dud main event. Like I said, we got the Travis Scott coming out, and then John Cena just wins with a belt shot, and it felt flat, man. It was a really bang average, disappointing match to main event WrestleMania 41 Night 2. I think it will go down as one of the weaker WrestleMania main events, which was just a shame. I think it was like, that's how you're going to kick off John Cena's big heel title reign with a match like that. Well, I mean, as he won his crown. At the moment itself, him lifting the title as a heel, the crowd went crazy, but afterwards we were just like, that's it? That's in that really boring, mediocre match with Cody, that's how he wins his 17th world title with a belt shot and ends Cody Rhodes' 1 year title reign at that. So there was a bit of after that. But then I did say in the positives, his title defenses against Randy at Backlash and Punk at Night of Champions were way better than the Cody match at WrestleMania. And I think they were a lot better, a lot more fun. So yeah, maybe it was just I don't know, maybe the planning of the match didn't quite go right, but I will get to this. But of course, John Cena definitely did. Him and Cody, I think, definitely redeemed themselves with the absolute banger they had at SummerSlam, which I think will go down as one of the matches of the year compared to the Mania 41 disappointment. So he just suddenly completely does a big U-turn and goes, yeah, I've not been myself the last 5 months. Some people, and he kind of throw shade at The Rock and Travis Scott here. Some people who I thought would be by my back, they left me to go on my own. And I said I wanted to ruin professional wrestling. I don't want to ruin professional wrestling. I'm Big Match John Cena. I'm John Cena. And super babyface John Cena is back. And they were like, Like, what? And I thought in that moment, I was like, no, he's pretending to be back to trick Cody into a false sense of security at SummerSlam. He's not really back. He's pretending to be back. He was going to trick Cody at SummerSlam. But no, he was back. And that they just killed the heel run right there in one of the quickest, worst turns back to a babyface I'd ever seen. I saw like other people just going, what the hell? This was clearly the company knowing that it just wasn't working. Them and John Cena, they probably said, yeah, this just isn't working. Let's just do a massive U-turn and a very, very quick course change back to a face heading into SummerSlam. And thinking about it now, it probably was a wise decision because then we got babyface John Cena and babyface Cody Rhodes, like I said, in an absolute banger at SummerSlam, going like 35 minutes in that last man standing match, which was one of the John Cena's best ever type matches of all time. I'd say top 5. So yeah, maybe it was a good thing because if he'd gone to that match as a heel, it wouldn't have been as good, I don't think. But I was still waiting for that. Is John Cena teasing the heel turn? He's teasing. No, he's still a heel. He's just tricking everyone. But no, never happened. Yeah, he's back as a face, and that was it. That just killed the heel run. And so then a lot of the fans' thoughts and mine were just thinking, what was the point? What actually was the point of this 5-6 month heel John Cena run? Was it just for the shocking moment at Elimination Chamber, the hits, the ratings? And yeah, we finally got to see a heel John Cena in his retirement year, even if it only was for 5-6 months. Sure, I guess. And I did say that it's not all bad. There were positives, but I think the negatives outweigh it. With just, like I said, the Travis Scott and The Rock no-showing. Well, I mean, Travis Scott, just there. The Rock no-showing after an Elimination Chamber really didn't help. It was never, ever really explained why he turned heel, why he sided with The Rock. And it just feels like half of John Cena's retirement run's been kind of wasted on this, would you say, failed experiment of a heel run? I really wonder what John Cena thinks, because I think he knows deep down, well, he'll probably admit it on a podcast in a year or two, what could have been for this heel run. It could have been so much better with The Rock by his side. That's just what could have been, man. I think that's what we're going to be looking at in years to come when we look back at this John Cena heel run and the heel title reign. Even though, like I said, he did have 2 very solid matches with Punk and Randy. And now we're just kind of back to acting like it never happened. Like they're literally acting like it never happened now. Since he's been back as a face, like I said, we've had 2 absolute bangers. Well, the match of Cody at SummerSlam, and like I said, just recently, and he had another brilliant match with Logan at Clash in Paris, back as a face. And I think it's looking very likely now. Of course, we're going to be getting the Brock Lesnar match probably at WrestlePalooza in a few weeks. So, yeah. But yeah, guys, on the whole, I didn't hate John Cena's heel run. I'm just disappointed. I think, as most fans are, we're disappointed because I think we just needed more stuff with The Rock, and a bit more substance as to why he did turn heel. It was never really explained. It felt a bit shallow, and the crowd never truly believed it. We were all cheering John Cena throughout the entire heel run because I've almost felt like John Cena was trying his best to convince us he's now a bad guy, but we know he's super match John. He's big super John Cena. So we never quite bought into the heel character because he was getting cheered at every single show, every single match, despite being the heel. He got the more cheers than Cody at Mania 41, so it never quite worked, did it? I'd love to see what John Cena thinks of what could have been for his heel run. I'm sure he's going to be interviewed in a podcast in a year or two's time after he's retired, and he'll give us the full story as to think where he thinks it went wrong or what could have been a lot better. But I think the main 2 negatives are The Rock and Travis Scott never appearing again. Well, like I said, after WrestleMania, when The Rock's no show after Elimination Chamber, were like the 2 biggest hurt ones to this, and how quickly they pivoted back to a babyface character and acting like it never happened. Yeah, he's a face now. Yeah, no, don't worry about it. Anyway, guys, but yeah, we still have several more matches before John Cena retires. Like I said, I think we're going to get Brock Lesnar at WrestlePalooza, and then he's still going to wrestle at Crown Jewel in Australia, Survivor Series, and then his final match will be at a Saturday Night Main Event in December, which I'm like, for John Cena's final match, a Saturday Night Main Event. I'm like, I don't know, but we'll see. We'll see. I'm sure they'll make it work. So yeah, guys, comment below. Let me know. What did you think of John Cena's heel run? The 5-6 month heel run we had. Do you think it was a waste of time? Do you think they could have done a lot better with it? Whose fault do you think it fell down to? Was it the writing? Was it the direction? The lack of direction it had? Comment below. Let me know. And do you think The Rock and Travis Scott were a big part to blame too? Thank you, guys. And I'll see you all very soon. Boop, boop, boop.